Hey guys, this is Corey Harris, TV Tyrant. I am playing T-Oath in Premodern. Starting hand, we've got Winter's Grace, Fear of Resistance, Oath of Druids, Wasteland, Wooded Foothills, Mox Diamond, and Terravor. We're going to go ahead and keep this one. It's a bit of a risk if we don't draw more lands. But our goal here is to either turn one Sphere or turn one Oath, and since they're a blue deck, we're going to turn one Oath. And we drew another land, so that's great. Since our blue deck, we're going to do a turn one Sphere, is what I meant to say. We don't know if they're a non-basic land deck or not. We need double green. So our options are discard Treetop Village, discard Wasteland, or discard Wooded Foothills. We're going to discard Wasteland. It's still a good card, but it's a little redundant with Sphere and Winter's Grace, and we have so many lands, so the chances are that we cast Winter's Grace through the Sphere. We're going to go ahead and put Wooded Foothills, cast Mox Diamond, discard Wasteland, crack Wooded Foothills, and cast a Sphere. Now, if they have daze, this would be the right time to daze us, but they don't. So this means they're not going to be able to cantrip effectively. Counterspell is going to be off the table for a while. You know, it's a pretty easy start for us. We don't have the best follow-up play because the center's tap. Otherwise, we might just Sphere again. We're going to go ahead and go on. And auto F6 through. I don't think they're going to do anything that's going to require anything else. Okay, so they are blue-red. Blue-red's not a very common combination. We draw Rishadan Port. That's great. So they have Counterspell up. And our options here are, we're going to go ahead and make a stop on the upkeep for Rishadan Port. We can try to port them down, or we can try and blow up a land. Now, if they counterspell us blowing up a land, they're not actually down a mana next turn, so we're going to skip that and tap them down instead. Okay, here we go. They play an Impulse. That makes them a combo deck. In pre-modern, cantrips almost always signify a combo. And so we're going to go ahead and Rishadan Port them. Now, with G-Oath, we're always going to want to keep them off of one color with a dual color deck. In this case, it's going to be red. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's not enough to cast any of our... All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to drop a second Sphere. So we'll go like this and go you, and you. If this works, we can start blowing up lands because they won't be able to counterspell next turn. If it doesn't work, they use the counterspell on it. No big deal for us. So we're going to go ahead and just wait for that one and see what they do. They let it go through. That's fantastic for us. If they have more lands, that's good for them, but there's a good chance that they are now locked out of the game. Okay, let's see what they've got. We have 2 Spheres up, so this has to be a 1 mana play. Okay, they did not have the mana for it. They do not have another play. And so at this point, I don't want any more Spheres. I'm going to go ahead and blow up this Shivan. And from here, I think we've, yeah, we got it. Okay, so against blue decks, we're always bringing in Black Vice. And we're always going to take out 2 of Thermocost and Winter's Grace. Now here's the question. The alternative is we take these off and take out Oath. I don't know, because we beat them so smoothly before, whether they're a creature deck, but I'm going to go with no. and we're just gonna, because they went immediately to holding up a counterspell instead of trying to drop a threat. So I'm gonna take out Oath instead. So now we're going hard Prison. Blue decks like to keep their hands full, so and we have a turn 1 Black Vice, so there's no ramp. But other than that, this is a real smooth opener against blue. In fact, we don't want that much ramp because it's card disadvantage. So we're just going to Black Vice turn 1. They might annul that. Then we can Rish it in port, tap them down, and then blow up a land on their turn. So it's all good. Oh, this is a combo deck. Impulse was not wrong. And they used it to Portent, which is strange unless they're intending to play another spell this turn. Okay, so this is to keep me from Black Vicing? That's interesting. I don't know anybody who's ever preemptively dumped their hand with this. So, because Portent doesn't, unlike Ponder, doesn't draw on your turn. So presumably we're now pretty sure that this is Dreadnought. However, I don't understand why they would use Lotus Petal to cast the Portent. And I'm a little baffled by their play. Okay, there's a Grim Lavamancer. So if we go to the next game, we're going to go ahead and cite an Oath. And now I have some choices. So mostly what I want to do is just start blowing up lands. So we're going to tap blue so they can't hold up a counterspell. They might have some of the more permissive counterspells, Mana Leaks that they can hold off under an island. But they can't hard counterspell, and they're just going to do 1 Nibby. Which is fine. Okay. So we're always going to crack fetches first, unless we have some reason that we're holding them. We would hold them for Sylvan Library. Sylvan Library is good against control decks. This is looking less like control. So I'm going to try and blow up the mountain and keep them off red. We want to tap down blue because we don't want counterspells, but red's the secondary color for sure. Oh, here's Mana Leak. Daze, okay. So they are a Daze deck. They are down to 2 cards in hand to my 5. So I'm feeling fairly well positioned here at this point. Unless this deck plays a lot stronger cards than it does. Oh, there's Gush. Okay. Like, these... Oh, and there is the Dreadnought. Okay, so that is good to know. Let's see if they've got it, but I'm assuming, yep, they got Vision Charm, and we'll scoop it up there. Okay. So we're going to bring in... They're not a control deck at all, so I tricked myself. We're going to bring in Naturalizes. And then the question is, do we bring in Oath? This is a real hard one. We really don't want them to get their land set up, so I think we're going to stay off Oath, although that makes them more likely to have enough turns to get to a Dreadnought. So it's going to really, hopefully we get a fast hand, and we do not. This is atrocious, and we're going to go ahead and mull it. And I hit the wrong button. Sorry, first time streaming while talking. So, we've lost this match. This is real bad. We might get lucky and they play out a non-basic land first, but I doubt they're that dumb. So, we're going to Treetop Village. This should have been a win, I think, if we'd gotten to Mulligan, but I messed it up. They're going to have Dreadnought pretty quick. So we'll go ahead and blow up use a Thermocast, try to blow up a land. They're going to counterspell this. Okay, they dazed it with a hardcast daze. So Dreadnought's actually one of our my two worst matchups. The other one being Goblins because of turn 1 Lackey. I'm assuming that they drop a Dreadnought now, since they... Okay. I'm not quite sure I understand my opponent's logic on some of these plays, but we'll go ahead and wasteland. Okay, he bolts me. I don't care about that. We're going to play Rishan Import and try to Winter's Grasp a land. I'm assuming this eats another counterspell of some sort. Okay. Okay. In this case, we're going to go ahead and just do the same thing I said before. In our deck a little. Okay, we are finally out of the red zone, so we can go ahead and attack. So, explaining my attack, they could technically go petal land and drop a Dreadnought. However, we have to start attacking at some point. There does need to be a clock on our side, or they'll just play out lands till we're back where we started. So we're gonna, okay, see, and good things come to those who wait. So we're gonna blow up a land and tap the other one. We'll play Mishra's Factory, and then blow up this land. Like I said, pressure is kind of the most important thing. We'll hold up Wasteland in case they play a non-basic. But we really need to start like cutting into their life pretty hard. As long as we can keep their land count down or them tapped out. So we do not want this to go to turn 15 because eventually they will slip a Dreadnought in. Now here's an interesting one. I can drop a Terravore, and that puts a real clock that doesn't put continuous mana use. So I think that's what we're going to do. And I should have actually, this is much harder when you're playing on camera and talking about it, should have left one of the forests open and tapped with my Mishra's Factory. That way Terravore, that way I could hold up Naturalize, but I will go ahead and just, bomb that as well. So we'll go here. We're going to port them down. There's a good chance that they get their Dreadnought down. So here's the nice thing. We can port down their lands on the turn the Dreadnought comes back in and naturalize them that way as well. We're not bound to, whatever amount of land. So this is so unbelievably irritating that I punted this hard. But, that's going to be 3 punts in one game. So if we win from here, the deck works. Because if we were doing badly, I'd have lost the game already. Okay. So before I touch anything, I'm going to explain, and then I'm going to do it separately. So I apologize for that. We need to put as much pressure on them as we can. We have enough life to take 2 hits. We can presumably kill them faster than that. Terravore is a 5/5. We can attack with a Treetop Village. And the Treetop Village, we have to leave up Rishid Import and 1 land. Treetop Village will count 2 lands. Mishra's Factory will count another land. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That should leave us Rishadan Port and Wasteland. So that means that we can attack for 3, 4, 5, or 3 plus 5 is 8, 9, 10, and have lethal next turn if we take one hit. The alternative is leave up Naturalize. If they have a counterspell for it, we're going to lose. They're probably going to cast Fling, so we're going to tap down red. Okay? Okay. 1, 2. They may also have a Lightning Bolt. So this is still lethal. So we are actually going to Naturalize on their upkeep, because I just realized they could try and bolt me as well. All right. So we're going to add a second one on their draw step. And we're going to tap down Island. Okay. And this way we can go to draw step. And then we're going to naturalize this. They're going to counterspell it, and they're going to lose. And this is about the best I could do. Okay. Through pure luck, we got that one. All right, thanks guys. I enjoyed this. I'm going to have to be more careful with my play. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.